Hi guys, I'm back again, Lisa from Kitchen Chemistry. We're going to be working on a really fun, easy project today. All you really need is cookies and some kind of filler, like pudding or whipped cream or anything like that. So I'm going to do two of them today for you. I'm going to do a super easy one that you really just can't fail at. And then I'm going to do one that's a little bit more complicated, but still very successful and guaranteed family pleasers. Okay, so all you need to have in the house is either whipped cream topping, whipped topping, pudding, anything like that. I am going to start off with the simple one because everybody loves chocolate sandwich cookies right here. All right, so this recipe is right over here. This is the sample here. Doesn't that look delicious? There's two ways to do that. You can just take these cookies straight up and just line it into any kind of pan that you have. The recipe that I have, I don't know if my daughter posted it yet, but if she didn't, it's gonna be posted in a little bit. And it's designed for an 8x8 inch pan. So that's most popular, but you can do it to anything. All you have to do is double the recipe if you're gonna use a 9x13. And this isn't odd, this is like a 6x8 or 6x9. So I'm gonna make the Oreos work. Two different things. This cake right here looks so delicious and yummy, and it's a little bit crunchy. I made this yesterday. Cookies are still a little bit crunchy. That's how we like it here. But if you like it to be really cakey, get yourself a little glass of milk. This is not in the instructions. This is just a little bit of a hint. And then just give the Oreos or the chocolate sandwich cookies a quick little dip. You don't want to soak it because it's going to soak up all the moisture from the whipped cream. So you just want to dip them very carefully like this, very fast. And that's going to kind of like rush the process. Even though you're not going to be using an oven for this, you're going to just basically be putting this together and popping it in your fridge. Your fridge is kind of like your oven because it has to sit in the fridge at least 6 to 8 hours. So make it before you go to bed, and next day you have dessert. Or make it in the morning, and then you can have it for dinner. This is an easy project. You can assign this part to the kids. They're probably going to eat half the cookies before they get it in the pan. But that's perfectly fine too. You can do this, the way I laid the recipe out is that you can do this with literally any kind of cracker, wafer, like a sweeter cracker, wafer, cookie, shortbread, old-fashioned favorites, you can do it with. And then fillings, you can use puddings, you can use lemon curd, really whatever you want. You can get creative with it, or you can just stick to the basics. It's called an icebox cake because back in the 1920s and 30s, people just started to have ice boxes, which was basically a cooler on its side with a division where an ice man would come and bring you a big block of ice. You'd stick it in the fridge or in the cooler, and you had some way to keep your meat and your dairy to keep a little bit longer than how it was in the past. Now we do it as a convenient no-bake quickie recipe. So that's what it looks like right now. All right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take whipped cream. Now, I made this in advance because it could take 5 or 10 minutes just whipping before it gets nice and stiff like this. What I've used here, what you're going to use is 2 cups of heavy cream with a 1/2 cup of sugar. And you can use powdered sugar, helps it be a little bit stiffer. You could use table sugar, especially since we're not going to be eating it for at least 12 hours or so the sugar will dissolve. But if you're using whipped cream and you're going to serve it right away, then it's best not to use table sugar because the sugar is a little crunchy. Now, I'm going to take 1 cup of the whipped cream, and I'm going to just plop it right on top. Just like that. Whoops. All right, and I'm just going to spread it to cover all the cookies.
Now, how thick of a layer are you looking for?
It's just 1 cup, so whatever, or if you do it in 9x13, it would be 2 cups. Half the whipped cream. It doesn't matter how thick the layer is. It's just a matter of using the right amount of cream. Doesn't matter if you get little crumbs in there. See how I got some crumbs in there? Did that on purpose so you could see. That's okay. Now, if you wanted to, you could take a little chocolate syrup and drizzle this on here now. You can also throw in chocolate chips if you want to. You can pile it on. You could do different layers. You could actually put a layer of chocolate pudding over the cookies, then put whipped cream over the pudding, and then start the next layer up. Okay? So here I go with the next layer. I'm not going to dip these. Just going to throw those in there. So this pan is taking basically 3 by 5 cookies, so it's 15 cookies per row. You get about 36 cookies in a package, just so that you can plan properly. An 8 by 8 is 4 by 4 cookies. An 8 by 8 inch pan is 4 cookies one way and 4 cookies the other. Just gonna pile it in here. There we go. And then I'm gonna take my other cup of whipped cream. So let me clarify that for a second. When you use 2 cups of whipped cream, when you beat it, you're getting more than 2 cups. You're going to get probably 3.5 cups. So I'm taking half that recipe and I'm putting it in the pan. And I'm going to just spread this around. Is this not the easiest recipe you ever heard? And it is absolutely scrumptious. If ever you get those pies in the fast food restaurants, like a peanut butter pie or an Oreo pie, basically, this is kind of like what it is. Except you're making it homemade and you're using all good stuff. Okay, so that's that. Then what you want to do is you just want to take whatever cookies are left over, probably about 4 or 5, and just crunch it. Okay, and sprinkle it on top. There you go. Now, this is going to set overnight, and it is going to be out of this world tomorrow.
Great. There's already people on Facebook who want a sample.
Oh, really? Okay. That sounds wonderful. If we weren't in lockdown, my plan was to actually do a contest on Facebook and let you guys have this one. But unfortunately, we're on lockdown, so we're going to gain weight. That's all I can tell you. All right. We'll have to do another one once we're allowed to be out of our houses again, and then I'll raffle something off. But anyway, so that's what that looks like. Tomorrow when you cut that, it's going to cut just like a piece of cake. It's gorgeous because all of the extra liquid that's in the cream is going to suck into the cookies, and it's actually going to get cuttable. Where if you tried to cut it now, it would just be a big mess. Delicious mess, but it would be a big mess. All right. So, any questions yet? No questions for me.
No questions.
Okay.
No
Don't
questions
hesitate
right
to
now.
ask questions, guys. Also, what I want to know, because we plan on doing 2 of these videos a week, I'd like to know if there are certain things that you'd like to see. If there are things that you think would be interesting to learn, I'll be happy to show you. Tomorrow we're going to be doing pasta, so you don't want to miss that out because that's real easy. Yes. All right, so the next one we're going to do, this is a favorite, absolute favorite. My kids love this, and I have to beat them away before they eat these. Yeah. This is the peanut butter pie. So it is just layers of graham crackers, of a mixture of peanut butter, cream cheese, whipped cream, and a little sugar, squirt of vanilla, and then, of course, topped with whipped cream. So I'm making the big pan, pulling out the big guns for that one. Ooh. You can do two different kinds with this one here. I have graham crackers, which is what I did there, and I also got Nutter Butters. And Nutter Butters are just like Oreos. So I'm going to line the bottom of the pan with the Nutter Butters. And then I'm going to do graham crackers for the second layer up. So these are definitely firmer cookies, so I am going to dip them in milk. All right, 2 at a time. How do you like that? That I don't bore you. Okay, another popular cake that you might, or dessert I should say, would be the banana wafer cake, which is banana pudding or vanilla pudding, fresh cut bananas, and then vanilla wafers. Okay, That is a traditional dessert from the 50s. It's really, really delicious. They made it in a compote or a truffle. You can do it like that too. It's basically vanilla wafers instead of the cookies, vanilla pudding, sliced bananas, and then whipped cream. So delicious. And maybe a little healthier because there's a banana in there. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know.
Amanda, my daughter, who's been the cameraman for me for the last couple of episodes, is actually locked down in her house too. So I have Eric here and Lucas, who are my cameramen.
Hello.
So it was really a lot of fun.
Amanda says hi, by the way.
Oh, okay. Hi, Amanda. Miss you.
And Bracinda and Carrie also say hello.
Oh, cool. Cool. I was so excited to see how many of you guys made the bread that we did the other day. It was so much fun to see your loaves coming up on Facebook. I'm very happy to see that people are using the things that I'm teaching you because it's fun. And in this day and age, when we're all locked in the house, it's good to step out of your comfort zone. I'm using super simple recipes, so they're doable. And I'm always available for questions, so don't worry about that.
We actually have a question.
Okay.
Can you substitute Nutter Butters and cream cheese for those who don't like it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So in other words, you want to make a peanut butter pie, but you don't want cream cheese in there. So what's going to happen is you're going to have to up the Cool Whip or the whipped cream and substitute that because there has to be something else to break up the peanut butter because it's very, very dense. It'd be too much to just smear peanut butter on graham crackers. But yes, that definitely without a doubt. Any cookie, and you can get creative and let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you substituted because you really can get crazy creative with this. If you don't like bananas, you can substitute mangoes. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you and what your family's going to eat. That's what this is all about. Okay? So now we're going to make the peanut butter filling. All right? It is going to be equal parts of peanut butter and cream cheese. So I'm doing a 9x13, so I'm actually adding 2 cups of each. But if you're going to do just an 8x8, then just do 1 cup of each. So plop that in the KitchenAid. Yes, you can do this by hand. You don't have to do it in a KitchenAid, in a mixer. Life is always a little easier, I'm not going to lie, when you have a stand mixer. All right, and then I have the cream cheese. You want the cream cheese to be a little bit softer so it blends in well. So I'm going to just stick it in the microwave for about 20 seconds. If you want it to be truly no bake, then you don't have to put it in the microwave. You could just sit it out on your counter for for an hour or two. That would be fine, but
we're gonna rush it.
Yeah.
Kayla says hello as well.
Hi, Kayla. Thanks for watching. I'm so excited to see you all. We can't see each other in the bakery, right? So
yeah, we have to join here.
All right, there we go. Cream cheese in the bowl. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of vanilla. So you see a lid like this and you think it's just going to come out by drops, right? Well, I learned this morning the hard way that this does not come out like drops. This actually poured out like as if there was nothing in there. So don't get tricked. This is not going to take too long. I'm just going to put it on for a second. Gonna scrape it down a little bit and then I'm gonna whip it for just another second and then I'm gonna add the whipped cream. So you can use Cool Whip or whatever whip toppings you want to. You don't have to use heavy cream, but there's just something so delicious about real heavy cream, and it's not that hard to mix. You literally just add the heavy cream, sugar, and a little vanilla in the mixer. Watch it though, because if you walk away and forget about it, when you come back, you're going to have butter, and you're going to have sweet butter. So then what you'll do is throw some cinnamon in there and have a nice breakfast spread. This is what it looks like so far. All right.
So Lisa, for those who are just signing on, what are we making here?
We are making peanut butter icebox cake. We just made Oreo icebox cake, and they're super easy. Great dessert.
All right.
It's basically layers of cookies, cream filling of some sort, whether it's puddings or whipped cream or whatever. I mean, in reality, you could even do an ice cream cake and layer softened ice cream in between here, but you do have to pop it back in the freezer before you serve it. Otherwise, it'll be a big squishy mess. All right?
Oh, your vanilla.
Oh, there goes my vanilla. That's worth gold these days, let me tell you. All right. So now it's kind of like lumpy and bumpy. If I would try to spread this on there, it would be too mushy, too hard. So I'm going to add my sugar, and I'm going to add my whipped cream. So again, it's going to be half of whatever is in there when you mix the 2 cups of cream.
So you're reserving half of the whipped cream for later?
Exactly. So if I made, for this recipe, I'm doing 2 cups of whipped cream or of Cool Whip or whatever, I'm going to save half. Now, kind of like a chemical reaction thing kind of happens when you add Cool Whip or whipped cream and cream cheese. So it literally turns into like a cheesecake texture. So it's pretty interesting like that. So you didn't do anything wrong. That's just how it is. Another thing too is if you don't want to bother with the layers, I mean the layers are fun, but you don't have to do that. You can also just get yourself a graham cracker crust and throw this whole thing in there and then cover the top with whipped cream. That works as well too, which means it's basically, I got a piece of wrapper in there. It's basically the same thing, whether it is layered like this or in a graham cracker crust. So, plopping in half the recipe. I still have my whipped cream reserved. And I'm just going to spread this out.
Okay, we have a question from Care, and they ask, if you were doing a pudding, so you have to mix it with something to stiffen the pudding up?
Nope. No. You can take straight up pudding because then the moisture from the pudding is going to suck into the cookie. Yep, so that's not a problem at all. Just straight up pudding.
Your gloves.
They're full of peanut butter?
Yeah, swamp gloves.
All right.
And then Kim is thanking you for doing this, and Stephanie is she used to make graham cracker and chocolate pudding icebox cakes with her dad.
Aw, that's wonderful. You know, food and desserts are all about memories. That's all there is to it. Nothing is more comforting than when you have a memory thrown back to your childhood, whether it's licking a certain kind of ice cream or whether it's making a dessert. So I'm happy to bring that memory back for you. And there's always whipped cream involved, right, with that cake. So now what I'm doing here is I am going to make the next layer with graham crackers. So fun. It's just one of those things. It's like putting together a puzzle. Now I have a dilemma. Look at that, right? So the good thing about graham crackers is that they do have that break down the middle. Perfect. So I could just break it up, just like that. Put it in. I wonder why the graham crackers did that. That's so convenient for this project. Did they know?
To make s'mores easier.
Yeah, to make s'mores. How do you like that? All right. So now I'm going to do the last batch here. Just throw this on.
The last layer of peanut
butter.
butter.
The last layer of peanut butter and cream cheese mixture. And if you wanted to, you can throw mini chips in here. You can throw peanuts. You can use chunky peanut butter if you want to. You can do anything you want. It really doesn't matter. If you don't like peanuts and you want to go with a more elegant nut, you can do pistachio nut butter or almond butter. It doesn't matter. It gets a little expensive though with the almond butter, but all right. So that's what that looks like. All right. And then I'm going to just take my extra cream, plop it right on there. All right.
Kathy, Olivia, and Carol Lorenz are all watching.
Oh, really? Hello. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining in. We're all together. How do you like that? Even though we're all quarantined, we're all together as one big happy family. So excited. My family's a big foodie family. We're always making all kinds of crazy stuff. Sometimes we have very friendly competitions amongst my brothers. They all try to outdo me. Sometimes they succeed. Not too often, though. All right, there we go. So I don't have to really worry too much about what the top looks like because I'm going to add the toppings. So it's going to cover up any kind of mishmash. So I'm not going to spend 20 minutes trying to get this perfectly. If I wanted to, I could have took a pastry bag and I could have made stars or made fancy shapes. But since it's going to be a situation where I'm going to take some syrup and some peanut butter to drizzle, I'm not going to spend too much time.
We have one more question. Can you freeze these cakes?
Yeah, you can absolutely freeze them. Definitely the crackers, and don't dip them in milk, okay? Because if you dip them in milk, they're going to be soggy when you take them out. And also sometimes when you dip them in milk, milk will sometimes get crystallized in the freezer, so you don't want that to happen to your dessert. So then definitely don't do that step. But absolutely they can be frozen.
Great insight. How long will they last in the freezer? So if I wanted to make this for, say, a party on the weekend, what's that, 5 days, 4 days?
Yes, perfect. It'll definitely last that long. It'll last as long as you don't put a garlic bread or something very smelly, a pound of shrimp sitting on top of it in the freezer. It will last about 3 months in the freezer, seriously.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to just drizzle this on like this. All right. And then I'm going to take peanut butter. So I put peanut butter in a pastry bag. You can definitely use a freezer bag. You cannot use a sandwich bag because you're going to give it one good squeeze and a big bubble is going to come out of the side. You're never going to get it out of there. But a freezer bag will work. I'm going to just show you a little trick. If you would take a freezer bag and open it like this and take a scoop of peanut butter and stick it in there, you're going to be cursing me out because it's going to be a big nightmare of a mess. It's going to be all over the place. So what you have to do, cuff down the bag, get it into the corner, just like that. And this is whenever you're filling any kind of freezer bag with anything you're doing with decorative stuff, okay? You're going to take your scoop of peanut butter, okay, and then you're going to literally lay the spatula in the bag, close the bag up over the spatula like that, and then pull the spatula out.
Nice. That's
going to be the easiest way for you to fill that. Now, I'm not going to squeeze this because I had no freezer bags in the house. This is a sandwich bag. And if you can just see, it just is going to bubble right out. It'll be a big mess, so don't do that. This is a pastry bag, best inventions when it comes to wanting things to look professional. Yeah. And I'm just going to squeeze this and go back and forth the opposite way. So, believe it or not, both of these cakes are versions, Icebox versions of our cupcakes. Our peanut butter passion is right here, and our cookies and cream cupcake is right there. So if those are your favorite cupcakes, you're going to love these desserts.
Very cool. Also, Grandpa and Grandma are watching.
No way!
Yeah, you can say hi to Grandpa.
Hey, Pops! My dad is the original baker. He got a job in a bakery when I was in 2nd grade, and I was absolutely so impressed with the cakes that he would bring home. So my memories of second grade is sitting in the in my classroom, and the teacher literally sounded like Charlie Brown's teacher. She was going womp 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 because I didn't hear one word she said, because all I thought about was those gorgeous pink roses and those beautiful green leaves and everything. Anyone who's been to my class has heard that story, but since my pops is there, I have to say it again. And
you want to talk about one of his first jobs?
One of his first jobs, believe it or not, my dad's very first job was an iceman. He used to deliver ice when he was about 11 or 12 years old, all through College Point, and that was his first job. And then he became a soda man and then a baker. So that explains why I have a little extra poundage on me, because I grew up with all the good stuff, soda and cake, and that's it. So, yeah. So he's my inspiration for all this stuff, and he always made it fun. Making it, that's why my brothers and I compete a little bit, because he always made it fun and friendly competition. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle some mini chips here on top. And once again, it's done. So there goes that vanilla again. It's worth gold, forget it. Okay, so this is what this looks like. I would put a piece of saran wrap over it, and then I would let that set in the fridge overnight. And then tomorrow, when you take it out, it's going to be, as a matter of fact, I have the one I made here. Yeah, here we go. So this is what it looks like when you cut it out. Take a little spatula. Of course, I can't find anything. Okay, and then I'm going to just cut, loosen it all up, and then you have a perfect piece of Oreo pie. Wow. How does that look? Great, right, guys? Okay, so do me a favor. Let me know what ideas you'd like me to demonstrate, because I love that. I love to have interaction with people. Tomorrow we are going to be doing pasta. Every nationality has some version of pasta, and it's going to be a really fun, just a few ingredients: eggs, water, flour, and a little salt. That's what it takes, and then whatever you do with that afterwards. So join us again, 1 o'clock tomorrow for that, and I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in, okay? See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.